So welcome to another video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Grant.
And I swear on my life I actually have my microphone both on and facing towards my face this time. I, with much bravado and gusto, claimed that I had turned it on last time and my microphone was just turned off because I had not done it properly.
Are we like novices?
I consider myself an epsilon semi-moron or demi-moron, whatever it is from Brave New World. You have two blue lights. Do I have two blue lights?
You have two blue lights.
Look
we
at
are
us.
golden.
Look at us.
We are golden.
This is me talking into my microphone, and hopefully it's very painful on your ears.
Please don't do that.
It functions! So yes, welcome.
Although I will say one thing. It was weird because I listened to it on my phone, had no problem.
Yes.
Listened to it on my computer, I couldn't hear you.
And that is,
I don't understand.
So that's because the way that the microphones work with the two channels, your phone is not a stereo,
like
it's mono channel, so it plays it all evenly. Okay. Whereas if you've got stereo speakers, it cuts one side.
There you go. That's the explanation.
So, all that to say, I hope you can hear me this month. Yay!
And if you can't, sorry.
Yeah.
We're not going to edit, reshoot, do a test. No, it's not who we are.
You just have to do quiet us, that's all. Yeah. So, welcome.
I'll talk like this.
Yeah, for real. So this is our December monthly debrief for 2023. It's the very last one of the year, last one of season 3.
This is episode 36, season 3, episode 12, but it's
we've done 36
full episodes. I can't believe it.
That is one of the longest running things that we've done that was outside of just like unboxings and reviews.
Sure.
Like that we were like, hey, we should do this and start this.
The only thing on the blog I've been doing from almost the very beginning is the GMT monthly update.
Yes.
Kind of post and then War Game Watch.
Has been going on.
I've been doing that like the whole 8 years. So pretty cool. I'm glad that we've been able to do this. I'm glad that we found a great sponsor. I'm glad that we still are able to come up with interesting topics, even after 36 episodes.
I hope they still resonate with people and are interesting and worth it. They seem to be.
I worry about that every time. Like, every time we put something together, I'm like, do people really, are they going to be interested in that? And, you know, some do better than others, right?
Yeah.
But they always get 4,000 to 5,000 views no matter what. The good ones get 8 or 10. But yeah, so, yeah, I'm really impressed that we've been able to do this.
Yes. Cool. So this particular episode, as is per usual, is sponsored by Noble Knight Games. They're a sponsor of these monthly debriefs. I'm very grateful for their support. A little bit more from them later on in the show.
And for their great service that they do for us. We've bought many a game from them. We've traded many a game into them. I'm
on there all the time. And it's like...
By the way, once again, you got a notice that Marengo from GMT is in. You put that on our list some time ago.
I did.
So I'm just letting you know.
I will pull the trigger on some of these, but you know how it is.
We got enough games.
I need more war games like I need a hole in the head.
That's my saying.
And
you got to come up with your own.
It's not your. It
is my saying. Nope, it's my saying.
I'm
copyright, trademark, TM.
I'm pretty sure that is a song by Cypress Hill.
Well, they got it from me. That's what I'm saying.
I wonder if any of our viewers are into West Coast hip hop. Who knows?
Not me. I know who Cypress Hill is, but no, thank you.
Anyway, but yeah, especially games that it's like, this is an old game. I think it would be interesting for people, but we're also constantly playing new games and never have time for some of these old games.
Well, but that's something we're rectifying this year.
Yes.
We already mentioned that in our retrospective video, but we have identified 12 games that we're going to play from our shelves of shame.
Yes. So if you didn't watch our retrospective video that came out, I put it on January 1st. I was pretty proud of myself.
Yeah.
Go watch that. We talk about some things we did last year, but one of the things we mentioned was looking forward to. We wanted to play some of those games that have just been sat on the shelves that are kind of classics or really popular.
Or big war games, like Day of Days is a huge war game.
Yeah, that just, we own them and want to play them, but they languish on the shelves because we constantly are trying to play some of these newer titles for people and let you know where to go.
We're still gonna play new games, but I think we're gonna take a step back and dedicate 1 week a month maybe 2 weeks, because some of these games are big,
Yes.
to play those, and then we'll play 1 or 2 new games as well.
Yeah.
And it'll still be good. We'll do videos. People will still watch those, and they'll still be good. But
yeah,
we're going to play some other games.
Hopefully you'll see a more dedicated stream of videos of games which aren't brand new, but are the games which you might love or you've heard about a lot. And finally, we're going to get to some of those. I'm very excited for that aspect of what we're doing in 2024.
I actually, when I came up with that thought and idea and we discussed that, I was like, oh, that's going to be so cool.
I think it's going to be brilliant.
And I think we're going to continue that, hopefully. Now, I do think we'll still do our Guns of August event, because we've talked about 4 or 5 games that we want to do with it.
Yes.
So,
But what that looks like might be... It's not going to be 15
I'm not
games.
I'm never doing more than 3 or 4. I'm just never doing that again. Never.
Yeah, and
it's too much.
Like we talked about last time, though, it's also falls at a really awkward time with like conventions,
holidays,
and vacations,
and school
and stuff,
starting.
So
it's true.
We got to figure out a better way to do it, or something. I'm not really sure, but yeah,
that typifies us. We got to figure something out better that works better than what we do. But
yes.
whatever.
But I'm really excited about that aspect. You'll see one of those games today that we're going to play here in January. That was kind of the first of that series.
And if you're interested in all 12, watch that video. Or I wrote a retrospective piece on the blog that talks about that part. So you can see all 12 of those there. And we've come up with a schedule that we are going to try our best to follow.
Yes, and I think that
will help.
Is what's going to make this actually happen. Because our gaming is, we make these little videos and say, we're going to play this, and this.
We play like a quarter.
And we'll play like 2 of those, but we'll play 2 other ones that weren't on the list.
Because they came up, or they look cool, or we
were in the mood. Like,
I know.
And we
having a schedule.
Kind of scheduled them as much as possible.
Historically.
Historically the theme of the time of the year, which I think that's also pretty fun.
Some of them are dead on. Like our February one is dead on. It's Kazarene Pass, Baptism by Fire, happened in February. So that's perfect. Some are not going to be quite as good.
No, but I think we've got a D-Day game in June.
Yep, D-Day game in June. We have actually 2 Battle of the Bulge games. So we're going to do one in January
December,
this month and then one in December at the end of the year. So, but anyway, very, very excited. Very cool. I'm excited about that part.
I think the fixed plan is really going to make this happen. Yeah. And if we only play 10 out of the 12, we'll still have been, I think that's still really good. If things...
if we can play 7 or 8 of them, that'll be freaking fantastic.
Yeah. And, it helps with the Shelf of Shame, but these aren't just like any old games. Some of them are like really, really good.
They're classics.
Yeah. So I'm very much excited and looking forward to that. And I think I don't know.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
I just think it's a little bit refreshing to be like, yeah, we're going to do that and dedicate some time to some of these games.
Well, I think as excited as I was the first time we did one of those topical videos, when we did the French and Indian War and played 4 or 5 games, that was a blast.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Then we did East Front games. Then we did, what else did we do? We did something else. Well, then we did our Guns of August.
And it
was like, I enjoy doing this. We need to do more of that. I'd like to do one that's like American Revolutionary War around 4th of July. We could play 4 or 5 games easily. Maybe that's next year.
Well, and it's also one of those things where, like, because we also talked about all the games that we've played of those, because we've played a few Revolutionary War games.
Oh, we've played like, I think it's 18.
And we're like, a couple more of those, and, we're really...
Yeah.
That's a long video.
Yeah, it would be a long video.
But, anyway... I think that's a fun thing to look forward to. If you hadn't seen that retrospective, that's something that you can see coming from us this coming year.
Yep.
So, in December, what is it that we played? Well,
what did we play?
I think early in the month, Mike came over.
Yep.
And
that was actually December 1st we played.
Was it the very first?
Imperium Romanum.
So we got together, and on a Friday night we played Al Nofi's Imperium Romanum, or Imperium Romanum 3 from Decision Games.
Yep.
So this
is a great little game.
A little.
Yeah, it's very, very involved.
Very involved.
Very crunchy.
So
very punishing.
There is a full review, or I think there is an initial impressions video.
Okay.
or it could be a full review. I don't remember. I even went back and watched it, and I can't remember of this from when this very first came out. I think in
Like
2017
or 18.
It was this house, so I think it was 18.
Okay.
It was either 18 or 19, but
Yeah.
we played it, and we played a little two-player scenario, just the two of us, and kind of potted around and learned it. And it gets this massive, sprawling, the entirety of the Roman Empire hex encounter war game, which I'd never seen anything like that. It was really cool, and it's the maps are stunning. It's really fun to like look at and play with. But you know, again, it went back on the shelf, and we finally got back together. But we played a 3-player game of it. The scenario was much bigger, both geographically and from a time standpoint as well. And we played it like that whole Friday night, and it was very enjoyable. But it had the same how to phrase this? It had the same bookkeeping issues as it had the first time that I played it.
No doubt.
And that's one of the real sticking points of the game. It's one of those things where we sat around a table and I enjoyed myself for a few hours playing this game.
There's no doubt. But you're right, the bookkeeping, because there's certain units where you can only get those in certain areas, but only a certain amount of those units can come out, and then you can only have a certain amount of type of those, and
if I levy guys from that area, that means you can't levy as many guys.
It gets confusing. I just felt like it would make a great computer game.
Yes.
Because that would be kept straight. And I felt like we struggled to do that on our little sheets.
And then on top of that, you've got the whole marching simulator aspect of
it.
Where there's...
Your baggage train moves 3 spaces, and your army moves 3 spaces.
Your army rolls and moves.
Yeah, it's...
Which is almost an unforgivable mechanic. But...
Yeah.
But then it's like... What's the terrain? Is it cultivated? Is there roads or not?
Well, and then you've got to figure out can you forage from it? Or you have to deplete your baggage train, which is not good.
And if you don't have those, they have to just like live off the land.
Forage,
and that's a die roll.
There's just a lot to it, but that's part of the charm to the game. I enjoyed that. It's what it is. It has a taxing system. It has an economic system. There's a lot of cool things. Plus, there's a great combat mechanic, and it's very, very brutal.
This is
very brutal.
This is almost Bergian in its hilariously violent combat.
I'm not sure it's set up to be a competitive game as much as it's set up to be a simulator of the historical outcomes of some of these things.
Yes. When a big stack meets a big stack, pretty much everyone dies.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. And it just depends. Like when Mike's stack came against me, I only lost 3 units, 3 or 4 units, but because my units were so good, I took him down, and he lost like 8 units. And that was incredible.
Yeah.
And that changed the whole fortune of Asia Minor, because I was able to wipe it out then, because he had nothing left.
Yeah, it's one of those games. It's a little bit old school, but they've got the fresh face on it. The maps are stunning.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game.
Without doubt. But yeah, it was a big game, and it was fun to revisit it as well.
It's always surprising to me how it's not very heavy.
No, because it's big paper maps.
Yeah.
There's a lot of paper.
And it's a big box. I mean, it's spread out. I enjoyed that. I appreciated Mike coming over from St. Louis. I unfortunately got sick the next day.
Yes.
And you guys started on to Richmond 2.
Yes.
Right?
So, yeah, we were going to continue a 3-player game, and then you were unwell. So me and him,
I woke up that morning, and I can't even describe, but I was very, very sick.
So he and I set up onto Richmond 2. So this is a 2023 release. This was my first ever GCACW game. I had never played this system before, but I've watched a lot of videos about it because it's very
Patrick's
complicated.
tutorials is one of the best
Patrick's
out there.
Tactics and Tutorials on YouTube. If you want to learn about this game, he has multiple different tutorial series. Plus, he does lots of playthroughs where you see the flow of the game.
Yeah.
But there's also there's a bunch of other videos out there as well. But Mike loves this series and knows it well, and so it was really nice to get an expert to kind of teach me the game and to lead me into it, because this is not a series for the faint-hearted either.
Well, and because Mike taught you, and you guys played for an entire day,
Yes.
you and I were then able to play, we played, what, 4 or 5 turns?
Yeah.
I just wanted to get a taste of the system, and I really liked what I saw and what I experienced. The only thing I didn't like was all the dice rolling.
Yes, which I have to report on that.
Okay, did we do something wrong?
No. There is less dice rolling in this.
Oh, okay.
So there's still a lot,
Okay.
but there's less.
Well, the dice rolling that I'm referring to is I don't remember what they call it, an initiative roll?
Yeah, you roll for initiative, but
It's
then
just
the
dumb.
Union also has to roll for leader activations.
Yep.
Then you have to roll for movement. And I know I just said roll for movement is dumb.
yeah.
But in this game,
that's what
I can forgive it.
So you always have an initial initiative die. It's a D6 opposed, and it's like you roll. Oh, the CSA always wins ties, right? So more often than not, the CSA is going to go first, and you activate 1 stack of units, or do a leader activation,
Or 1 unit.
yeah, and then we roll again, and it got a little frustrating because I think I lost 7 or 8 rolls in a row, and I'm like, am I ever going to get a turn here?
And
That's just part of the game.
that's just part of being the Union as well.
And
They
as
just
we
don't.
and as we played on and got through 3 or 4 turns, I stopped caring about that as much, but it still was a lot. I'm just like, can't we just do I go, you go, and just move on?
But Stonewall
It's
Jackson's
different.
Way doesn't have the leader activation dice rolling.
Okay.
So you take out that aspect of it,
Okay.
which is...
I actually like the leader rolling aspect.
See,
You didn't? Okay.
it's very punishing in On to Richmond, because you just can't activate as many guys.
Yeah, I get it. But I think I rolled well on those, and I was able to actually activate leader several times.
In Stonewall Jackson's Way, you just activate a guy with his formation, which is just much cleaner.
Okay.
But yeah, On to Richmond 2, this was really fun. Me and Mike played it literally all day Saturday. We set it up, and we played until like 9 or 10 p.m. The whole day. We played, I think we got through like 29 turns.
Yep.
Which was, because I never played a lot, I felt like that was a lot. And then it's still set up underneath here.
Well, and then we played
I
4 or
played
5
a couple
turns.
solo turns.
Yeah.
Then you came over and I taught you, and we played through some of it. This is I think this one, and one of the other ones.
Bigger ones.
This is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, in the series.
So this is the Peninsular campaign, right? So it starts, and you're going towards Richmond, and it's like the whole thing. It's 90 some odd turns, 96
It's
turns.
112 turns maximum.
112 turns. So it's a big game. It's a big game.
Huge.
Lots of units.
But the
Combat's pretty cool.
It's at this grand scale where you get the campaign elements. I really loved this, and it was cool to see it over a really long period of time as well.
Well, I'm looking forward to playing Stonewall Jackson's Way 2 because it's smaller.
Yeah.
I'll be able to start the game with you. We'll learn
campaign's
together.
like 15 turns.
Yeah, which isn't bad. That's 6 hours.
Yeah.
5-6 hours.
But like, yeah, we played a whole day. We did 29 turns. This is easily like a long afternoon.
And you and I think played 3 or 4 hours for those 4 or 5 turns, but
yeah,
great game. I enjoyed that a lot.
That was I'm very grateful to Mike for teaching me the system finally, where I'm like, okay.
Well, now you're kind of addicted to it, and I know you've been looking for all the other volumes.
This is one where they've got Vicksburg coming out this year, I think, or might be next year.
24.
Hopefully it's 24, which I'm like, I will buy anyone in that series. I'll probably go back and buy some of the old ones as well.
Well, don't get too out of hand until we actually play the couple that we got.
But I'm already doing it.
I know, but
like it's
yeah, you're right.
Much more than I do some of the other series I have set on my shelves.
Yeah, which is hilarious to me because you've never been into ACW.
I know.
I've tried multiple times.
That's how good the series is and how much I personally like it, for sure.
Because I've tried multiple times. And
no, and some of it I just
it's fine. I'm not judging.
So that's what we did that weekend.
Mm-hmm. That was the first weekend of the month.
It was wild.
Yep.
And then we played...
The next thing we played was Total Domination. That was maybe a week or 2 later. So this is a very cool, abstract strategy game, right?
Yes.
World War II, based on the game called Mini World War II, by Formosa Force Games from like 2017,
Yeah.
2018.
We did a review of that game.
Yeah. It
Which
was an awesome
you can
little
go
game.
and watch. We also shot a review of this,
Yep.
which will come out at
Soon.
some point. But yeah, we made a review of Mini World War II, and then it was immediately impossible to get a hold of.
Because it was from Taiwan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so Phalanx
I felt bad.
picked it up,
Yep.
basically redid the artwork, put a new name on it, cleaned up the rules.
Yep.
But it's effectively the same system, same game. So it was very familiar to pick it up with and play again. It can play 2 to 4 players, but it's
Which we would love to play it 4 players.
yeah. Just think it would be a bit more
Well, it would be
an extra dynamic.
There would be a new dynamic.
Totally
to it.
fine as a 2-player game.
And it's one of those interesting games. Combat does not have dice rolling.
Oh yeah,
It is
mega deterministic.
literally like a chess match of I've got units that can move at a cost of 1 and they can attack at a cost of 1. Oh, and I just played 6 APs or op points. So I can move like 3 spaces with my 2 units or 2 spaces with my and then kill you. And it's a chess match. So it's always keeping that distance between each other and making sure that you don't have all your units where they can be wiped out. I really like that aspect of it.
It's
fun.
This to me is the ultimate arms race game.
Yes.
If you
can develop what you need and get ahead.
Yeah, if you can't
it's
match
gonna
your
be hard.
opponent with technology
Yep.
in a meaningful way, they will get the upper hand on you,
And it's
it
over.
is very difficult to recover from that.
And it was funny because we played. I think I would have won. I think we kind of you.
Oh yeah,
conceded,
no, I was absolutely
But
done.
man, your Japanese boats had way outclassed my British boats.
Yeah, the Japanese were doing okay. The Germans got crushed.
Well, and I was worried about Japan because I'm like, "Oh, I can't get my tech up fast enough. But man, my tanks were amazing.
My final hand of cards was not
was
good. I was
garbage.
like, ugh.
But it's a great, fun little game. It's beautiful. Wei Cheng Cheng is the designer. I love this game. I actually really like it.
Yes.
I'm really glad to see that they redid it, and I think it's well worth anybody's time. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
Some people are going to poo-poo this, but it's cool. It's a good game. It's a good game.
Yeah, to me, it's that kind of game. If you like something like Quartermaster General,
Yep, it's similar style.
this is in that same family, even though
Yeah.
it plays a little bit differently.
But I had a great time with it. So
Yes.
what else did we play?
We played
Well, I
that.
got solo games. I don't know.
And that because I think did we play On to Richmond 2 that day as well?
We did.
So I think those are the 2 games that we did. So we played that.
Yep.
Then
We had a friend over,
yes, we had friend Matt came over
Matt Shirley
and we played.
from Missouri.
We played a miniatures game. We played Blood and Plunder from Firelock Games.
So good.
Love a miniatures game, and
Well, and I love a beautiful miniatures game.
yes.
And this is beautiful.
we had bought Blood and Plunder at Gen Con.
Why did we buy it?
We
Because we have a problem, but why did
Yes.
we really buy it?
we bought it because it looks cool,
Yep.
and it was like, well, they had a brand new starter set, all plastic with boats and pirates, and it was like, yeah, we might play the miniatures game, but we can also use the ships and the miniatures for Nations and Cannons, the role-playing game, which we did a review of that back in December. Go and watch that. It is a D&D 5th edition historical mod that's like
American Revolutionary War.
yeah,
It's
Amrev.
amazing.
You can go back a little bit to French and Indian War.
Yep.
You could probably go forward to War of 1812.
Great little system.
And the miniatures and the boats from Blood and Plunder, the box set was like, at worst, we will use it for that. But
Yeah.
there's also a miniatures game in it.
Tactical. I see a miniature sitting over.
Yes.
You want to just hear? I'll hold the
So
book.
Matt came over and he had all of his stuff and we played with it.
And his stuff was great.
It was stunning.
We've got kind of the new versions.
Immediately after he left, like
You put it together.
Oh yeah, like he came over on Saturday, and it was Sunday morning. I was gluing together my boat. I think even Saturday night I was doing it.
Well, he actually came over on a Thursday.
Whatever it was the Christmas holidays.
You
that night
you sent me pictures that evening, and then you sent me pictures the next day.
So,
and I'm impressed. That's beautiful.
This is one of the two different kind of sloops. This is the Bermuda sloop. I have to paint it, obviously.
How brittle are those? Does that worry you?
No.
How are you going to store those?
One of them's in the glass cabinet.
No. How are you going to carry that to where we're going to play our RPG?
What I will probably do is I will magnetize the bottom and stick it on a metal sheet that will go in that big roller.
Does this mast come off?
No. So it will sit in that big tall box with nothing else in it.
Okay.
And I will have glue with me.
Okay.
But yeah,
beautiful.
I
love the little cannon. You've got the
swivel guns.
Swivel guns on the top. You've got sails. Whoa, crap.
That's how they'll break.
Yeah. You also printed off the sails, right? The paper sails.
So I'll be rigging them, and
that thing really is shaking. I'm sorry.
Well, that's just
I just feel bad.
But yeah.
Beautiful.
I've got both of them. The ones in the cabinet with all the miniatures put together.
We have major plans for Buckeye Game Fest in regards to Nations and Kids.
Yeah,
we're not going to spill any beans.
No, but
we have major plans. We're going to run 2 sessions of that.
Yeah, we're going to run 2 tables of it because there was a lot of demand last year.
And we had a blast.
Yes, there was a lot of people who wanted to play, and it was great. Yeah. So I think we're going to split apart, and I'll run a table, and you'll run a table.
Yep,
so that way
I'll run a table of like 4 players, and you'll run a table of like 4 players, and then we'll, if everybody has a great time, maybe the next day we'll do another one. Who knows?
Yeah, so
we got to sit down and plan it out.
Yes, agreed.
And figure out what we're going to do. Because I want it to be fun and interesting. I also want it to be historical.
I also only have so many miniatures, so we have to like not super mega overlap everything.
But this was fun. I appreciate Matt. The interesting thing about Matt is I couldn't remember how we came in contact with Matt. I was racking my brain, and there was something familiar. I'm like, I know this guy.
For like 4 hours.
For like 4 hours, I'm like, I know this guy. And I think at lunch, I just said, Matt, how do we know each other? And he's like, well, I designed this game that you did an interview with. And I'm like, duh. You know, Libertadores, which is the South American Wars of Independence, is coming out from Legion War Games. And I interviewed the design team of Matt. Now I'm drawing a blank on the other names. But there are 3 of them. And Matt was one of those guys. Very cool. Interacted with me very well over internet. He just reached out and he's like, hey, let's play this. And I'm like, sure.
Because he has a bunch of this that he has like fully painted. And he saw that we had bought it and had talked about it. And he was like, well, I've got it. I'll come up and we'll play.
Yeah.
And
that was awesome.
Without question.
Yeah.
So we had it all, he had all like the terrain and it
was awesome.
Very fun to play.
So thank you, Matt.
Yes.
We appreciated it. We had a great time. And I know later on you played British Way with him. I had to leave for a wedding reception.
And so he traveled a long way to come. You had to leave. So we played a full game of Blood and Plunder. That was really good. I went out to lunch. And then Matt and I played the British Way that evening. We played the Kenya scenario.
Wasn't this the first time he's played face-to-face? I think he'd only played it solo, correct?
I think that's the case,
okay,
yes.
That's awesome.
And he played as the British and he crushed me. It's pretty fun. But we played the Kenya scenario because I wanted to play the Kenya scenario because I've only played that one once. And it has some very cool special activities for the Mau Mau faction, where they
Is it like the Mama clan and Judge Dredd? Sorry.
For legal reasons, no. But yes, it's spelled the same, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But
that was not intended in any way
it's
insulting or slight. I love that Dredd movie. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's wicked. I can't remember what the special activity is called, but it's basically like a raid, and you have underground guerrillas in the mountains. They can move one space and then do a terror action, which is unbelievably strong.
Yeah.
And so you can do a lot of kind of crazy things with that. And so I wanted to play it again and be like, and really hammer that. It was nice. Fun. So I'm glad that I got to play this again.
So you have now played all 4 of those scenarios. I've only played 2.
Yes.
I played
You played Palestine
and Malaya, and then you've played the other two, the Kenya and the Cyprus.
I've done Kenya twice and Cyprus with Ed.
So we need to play this at least once more, and then kind of do a final review of it.
Yes, I already recorded another.
Oh, then we don't need to worry about it.
But it was more of just like, hey, I've played them all now, and here's the end.
Sure, yeah.
We can still do more.
Nope,
because it's
I love it.
It's so good.
Yeah, that's going to be definitely on my top 10 list, no doubt. We had 3 coin games this year. We literally had 3, and I know you don't realize which other one was released because we haven't played it yet, but we know about it. We've played it before.
So wait, what?
It's an expansion.
Fall of Saigon. Fall of Saigon. Yeah.
No. Sovereign of Discord.
Sovereign of Discord.
We have not played Sovereign of Discord. We've played Fall of Saigon.
That's right.
Sovereign of Discord was the 3rd coin game that was released this year.
It's an expansion, isn't it?
It is, but
it's not a game.
Okay, whatever. You can be that way.
Yeah. But
it really is a different game. It's like a prelude.
Yeah, but it's not volume 13 or 14,
No, it's not.
So,
but I definitely still want to play it.
Oh, yeah, without question.
We just don't have enough time, unfortunately.
But yeah, that's all the games that we played together.
Well, other than the games we've been playing together on Rally the Troops. We've played Time of Crisis. We've played Andy and Abyss multiple times. We've done multiple games of Votes for Women together.
Yes. And I'm playing that a lot with a lot of other people as well.
I think I've got 4 or 5 going. I'm now in a couple of games of Pax Pamir, and I have AP. I don't know what to do.
Oh.
I don't have the rule book, so I've downloaded the rule book trying to read. No,
have mine if you want.
I can just download. I've got it downloaded, and I'm trying to read through it. It's actually on the Rally the Troops. I'm a moron, but I need to understand better because I'm going to embarrass myself.
I have yet to win a game of that. I came second recently.
Got it.
But most of the time I score no points.
And I don't care about winning. It's not. I do want to win, but I don't care.
No,
because I've not played that game in a long time.
That's a fun one. I'm in a couple games. I have a couple of opponents that regularly we play Field of Cloth of Glory, which is a fun little abstract game.
The Field of the Cloth of Gold.
Yes, I always want to say, and I don't know why. I always want to say
that's okay.
That. But
I've not played that game yet.
Such an esoteric abstract game.
Have you ever played the actual physical copy?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Indeed, I believe
it's not even punched.
Oh, I did punch it.
Okay.
I probably did that.
Not much here. That's like 2 pages of rules.
Yes,
it is. And a little canvas map. Very abstract.
Yes.
Not a war game.
No, it's a party throwing game.
Sure.
Where you give each other gifts.
But that's great. Those esoteric games are fantastic.
And it is so Hollenspiel. It's
great.
Yeah. That was I played a bunch of Wilderness War recently. I just the more I play that game, the more I love it.
I just have too many going, and
I'm playing.
I've got 25, and I've got too many games.
As the Canadians, the French. Because I swear the first 10 or 15 games of that I was always the British, and so I kind of really learned that. And then I played as the French and was very bad at them.
Sure.
And finally now I'm starting to be competent enough as the French.
You just have to raid.
Yeah, but you know me, all my raiders die all the time.
Oh yeah.
And so then I don't have any raiders left.
Or you roll ones and they die.
That's me.
And you do nothing.
All my guys die.
Yeah.
But I'm slowly getting better as the Canadians.
The thing about the French in that game is you've got to continually raid, and you've got to make sure you get the cards that bring in the extra tribes.
Yes.
If you don't get those extra 3 or 4 cards, you're not ever even going to come close to winning that game.
Yeah.
And sometimes they come in very late, and it's almost too late.
Yes.
So you got to kind of hope that you get them early.
But it's funny, recently I've also seen some really crazy things happen in that game. I played in one game where, I kid you not, on both sides, all of our leaders died. I had one leader and he had one leader, and it totally changes what you can do in the game.
Sure.
It was like, there's no way to get them back. So it was just such a different, a different game at that point almost.
Sure.
It was crazy. And there was, I played in a game where all the combat units died. Like, not like it was the very last turn, and we had just killed everyone, and it was like trying to get 1 point with one raider with no leader, and the game ended in a draw because just everyone had died and no one could force
reminiscent of our long
it was
game
very
a long time
similar.
ago.
I'm loving that. And then I
still haven't played Waterloo.
I've completed one game of Waterloo.
Okay.
And I'm,
well, maybe you and I need to
play
play
replaying the same opponent.
Okay.
And I won.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much I knew about it though.
Oh, okay.
Like,
well, it's not a complex game.
No, but it's still like there's a lot of ways you can collect victory points in a small game at least. And it was like I was doing really well, and then all my guys were dying, and I was like, "Oh no!" And then at the very end, it came down to the very last.
Who'd you
combat.
play? Wellington or?
I was playing as Napoleon.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm playing as Napoleon again, and so it was neat.
How in the hell did Napoleon think he could go in there and win?
In the 100 Days campaign, I've no idea.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't really know.
I'm telling you, those Prussians are freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
When they come on, it's over.
And
I'll talk about Vive l'Emperor.
Yeah, a really interesting little game. So it's the Waterloo campaign 1815 from C3I.
And you've got the cool little box with the sticker on the side. I've got these. I just haven't ever put them in there.
I think this is the only one I've done it for.
And you put them up on your shelf. And, the reality is I've got 3 or 4 of these, and I could put all 3 or 4 on my shelf, and they actually might look nice.
Yes. And it's designed by Mark Hermann, and it's in C3I 33. I don't even know if you can still get those anymore. I swear, the C3I...
The new C3I has a game called The Spanish Road.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
It looks pretty cool.
But yeah, that's a new one on Rally the Troops that I'm excited to try more
of. The Spanish Road was like, I want to say like the War of Austrian Succession. I mean, kind of in that period, so maybe I'm wrong. Someone's going to jump on me. But I'm looking forward to that one. Daniel Hernandez is the designer, and I've reached out to him. We're doing an interview.
Oh, yeah.
And looking forward to it. But I played a ton of solo games.
Yeah, you did.
I got busy this month. 2 of these 4 I've shot videos for. 1 I'm getting ready to this weekend, and then I got to play this one more time. So anyway, really cool little small game, The Battle of Mackinac Island by Matt Kelly. This is from Snafu Design. Very cool, simple, kind of abstract.
Like it's boxes.
Yeah, little boxes, and you're playing as the Americans trying to retake Mackinac Island at the end of the War of 1812. Very hard, very fun, very cool. I enjoy it.
And you've never played that battle in a game before?
Absolutely. So this is like a $15.95 game. So, and you can see it's tiny, but it's really, really good.
It looked pretty nice, all things considered.
Oh yeah, it's got some nice production.
Nice
the rules are really nice. It's fairly simple to play. I think you got to play it one time and then you're like, oh, okay, now I get it.
Have we played other things from Snafu?
We have a couple, but I don't know that we've ever got around to playing them. The cool thing about this one is it's designed as a 2-player game, but it has a nice little solo mode. So we could play it 2-player, and it plays like in 30 minutes. It's very quick. So yeah, Battle of Mackinac Island. There's video coming out, a couple of videos, playthrough and a review. Another one that I actually got brave about and actually buckled down and figured it out. It took me an entire evening on a Friday night. I played it like 3 times. And finally, by the end, I was like, okay, now I get it, you dummy. That Others May Live, Combat Search and Rescue in Vietnam from Hollandspiel. Brad Smith, the designer of NATO Air Commander. Yes. You played that, really enjoyed it. This is a very good game. I'm trying to make sure that I explain it correctly without going, I don't want to go into great detail. You're going to suck at this game. I still suck at this game. But you know what? What the game is trying to do is very unique. I don't know that I've ever played a game on combat search and rescue in any war, but you're flying a flotilla of planes, multiple different types of planes. You've got Sandies and you've got some fast movers and jets, and you're throwing napalm, and you're trying to get into a central area where you have a downed pilot that's been not captured, but he's evading capture. And you use cards to get in there. This game is awesome. I didn't do a playthrough of this because I'm not sure I'm 100% confident enough to do that, but I did a modified playthrough review. I think I played like 2 turns. So that'll be coming out on the YouTube channel soon. Really enjoyed that game. My favorite game I played over the holidays was Vive l'Empereur from Blue Panther. This is 2nd edition. This is Hermann Luttmann. We're going to talk about Hermann Luttmann tonight. This game's dope. It is a solitaire game, but it also has a 2-player option. I don't think I ever want to play it 2-player because the solitaire mode is so damn good.
Right.
This is the Battle of Waterloo. You control the forces of Napoleon. The AI controls Wellington and the Prussians, Blucher. Lots of cool rules regarding the weather. You do some die rolling to determine when the game starts. You have 12 turns, but you can end up starting as late as I think turn 3 or 4, and that sucks for you. So if that happens, you're gonna be up against it. But then the Prussians are gonna come in anytime between turn 8 and 12. It depends on some die rolling, and then they are really powerful. What I'm saying is, when I made the comment, what the hell were they thinking? The Imperial Guard are really good, but there's just not enough of them.
No.
And they can't get spread around, and they take losses, and you can't do anything. But I did really well on this one on the first time. I didn't win, but I did way better than I thought I did. I held the Prussians off. I had some really great artillery shots that kind of made them move back. And I took over the couple of detachments that were in the middle, like at the 3 different Papamont and...
Oh, gosh,
I'm trying to remember the name.
It's
Huguemont is
Huguemont.
the other one, and the other one in the middle is like La de Saint or something. I got 2 of the 3. You know what? I was good with that, and I ended up kind of not losing terribly, but I still lost. But it's a fantastic game. I'm not going to do a playthrough of this. This is about a 4-hour game. It says 90 to 180 minutes. I think they were drunk when they wrote this.
180 minutes, 3 hours? 3 hours?
It took me 3 to 4 hours. There's just a lot of rolling and a lot of decisions. So very cool. I'm going to do a video on that. And then finally, I finally played Global War. This is by Ben Madison from White Dog Games. This is very similar to Kaiserkrieg. It is the States of Siege series, but it's a vertical model, not tracks running down to a central point. You're surrounded by 4 or 5 different areas. Troops build up on there, and if they ever build up too much, they blitz you. So you gotta focus on keeping those numbers down. Great solitaire game, States of Siege series. I had a blast playing this. I just need to play it one more time, and then yeah, it's all set
Sounds
up.
like it's on your table.
This one's set up on my. They're both set up on my table. So I really did a lot of solo gaming this month, and I'm proud of myself. I played 14 solitaire games this year.
There you go.
Like full design solitaire games where I played them all through multiple times, done videos and reviews, and I've enjoyed it. So what are we going to play together?
So I think, yeah, that's everything that we did play. We will continue to play lots more on Rally of the Troops. That's a given.
Yeah, it's something we're going to continue doing.
We'll play... we also played a lot of Frosthaven.
We did.
Over the Christmas break, we played it at least twice. We played 3 times?
3 times, I think, yeah.
So that felt good to get back.
Had a great time.
Well.
With our father-in-law, had a great time. Enjoyed it immensely.
In January, we will be playing North Africa 41.
We will be playing.
We already played it.
We already played it. It's right up here. It's amazing.
Yes, from GMT Games. This was their kind of big Mark Simonich release this year. And boy, do I hope it's as good as I want it to be. It is.
Yeah. It's very good.
There's a review of this coming out.
Well, and a raw video I think we shot. Just kind of our initial reactions.
Having a bit of a kind of a loose chat through all the stuff in the game.
It's very good.
But yeah, this was a delight. It's kind of a step up in complexity from the regular 40X series games.
Yep.
And you get that wonderful supply puzzle that you would expect in a good North Africa game.
And a supply puzzle that is very important to combat.
Yes.
It is not, you know, a lot of times in war games supply, it's like, oh, I can trace my supply back, I'm good, right?
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I'm out of
done.
supply. I'm halved in strength.
I can't
and
attack.
I can't move, or whatever.
This decides whether you can attack or not. That's the reality.
Yes.
And if you aren't good at your logistics, you're going to be terrible at this game. We were both terrible at this game.
Oh, yeah.
We figured it out, but there's a convoy system that you got to get going, and you got to set it up, and you got to do it. Yeah, if you don't do it right, you're going to be bad.
You will be bad at this your first time you play it.
Terrible.
And then the second time you play, you're like,
awesome.
Oh, yeah, this is... this is how I propel my forces forward, effectively.
Yeah. I can't wait to play it again.
Yeah,
but
really,
we're
really
playing
fun
that
game.
this month. Yeah.
North Africa 41.
Very good game. Go ahead. We'll do all your
Sure.
side, and then I can come over to my side.
So next up, I will be playing, I'm already started, Stonewall Jackson's Way 2 from Multiman Publishing. Mike, who taught us Onto Richmond 2, he and I are playing this through Vassal. We get together digitally and play for a couple of hours. We've only done it once, and I think we played. I think we're on turn 4 now of a 15-turn campaign. So, and that was a couple hours of play. So,
yeah, fifth of the way down.
I hope that we finish this month. It's everything that I love. We're playing the All Greens Are Light campaign, but it's everything that I love about GCACW, but it's only a 15-turn campaign instead of 112. But it's still that great grand maneuvering. The supply concerns are less restrictive, but it's just like push and race as far and fast as you can at an operational level, and I love that in a game.
Yeah.
So it was really, really fun so far, but I'll be playing more of this month.
And this came out, what, a couple years ago? 2, 3 years ago?
That is a great question. This one says 2021, yeah, so a couple of years ago. And I do
Because On to Richmond is 2023.
That's 23, yep.
Yep.
And then I also have in this one, I've got the sweet Cube for Me trays, which organize these really nicely, and they look great. CubeForMe.com is a nice little website where they have war game sets, and they're like custom made for all sorts of different games. So those are really fun, and appreciate that.
And then this is the first one of our planned 12 games off our shelf of shame.
Yes. So Ardennes 44, we've got 2 Bulge games that were on that kind of list of 12 games. So we're doing one in December, one in January. It's winter. It's good enough.
Yeah. Close enough.
So an Ardennes 44, it's a classic.
It's the North Africa 41-esque system.
Yes.
This is the true 40X system. That's different.
And I think,
you don't have Zachbons in North Africa.
I think this was the first one in that series.
Okay.
I think
Normandy 44
was
first.
Normandy?
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to tell.
It was one of those two.
Yeah. No doubt.
This is the 3rd edition.
Or was France 40 first?
No.
Okay.
I'm almost 100% positive it was either this one or
By the way, that new edition of France 40 coming out looks amazing.
I'm very excited, because that's been out of print for a long time as well.
And I've got it on my P500, so we're going to get a copy.
But this is, I'm looking forward to this. I have the mounted maps.
Okay, they're just stacked back there somewhere.
Yes, but after this, I might do paper maps.
Well, once again, and you'll see that in our video, it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit well together. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm pretty sure I still got I got paper maps.
Yeah, paper maps are good.
And
have some stickers.
No, these are all like the different spares that I got from like C3Is and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So this is one of those games where there's always like, here's like a little 2-counter extra module that you get at a C3I. I swear the 40X series has tons of those.
Yeah, they do.
So I'm very excited to play this. Yep. It's been beloved by many
we're doing
people.
that this month.
Yes.
There's no doubt.
So
it's clipped, it's ready to go.
It has been for a number of years.
All right, so we have a trip coming up.
Yes.
Which I'm very excited about. And I'm actually proud of myself for reaching out, and because we had talked to David Thompson about doing this like a year ago.
Yep.
And we just never got it scheduled. So David Thompson, the designer of the Valiant Defense series, Undaunted series, the new General Orders series. Great guy. Love him.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Friend of wargaming. Designs great games. We are going to travel to his house in Ohio, and we're going to play games with him on a Saturday. Him and his friend Chris Blackford. So it'll be the 4 of us. So we have chosen 3 games that we are going to try to play. One is a prototype. Napoleon's Conquest from Fellowship of Simulations. And you were concerned that it was a long game. Let's
2 to 4
see.
hours.
That's not bad. I mean, it's going to be 4 hours.
But you got to learn it.
Yeah, it's going to. Well, we're going to have to really. Yeah, my box is just. I did that on Kickstarter, and anyway, Napoleon's Conquest. This is a worker placement style card-driven game. I'm very excited, but it looks awesome.
Yeah, I
looks
don't
awesome.
really know anything about it. I'm very curious to see what that's like in the end.
It looks really great. Prime Minister from GMT Games. Paul Hellyer is the designer. This is like a two to 2.5 hour game at the most. But it is, you take on the role of politicians in Victorian England, right? And you're trying to vie to gain favor and become the Prime Minister. So this is a card style game. Looks really awesome. Has a high solitaire suitability, and I think it has a bot of its own. Great looking package. I'm very excited about this one. This is a brand new release in 2023. We just haven't got around to playing it. You probably know more about this one than I do. Triumph.
Not really. This is Triumph. This is a prototype.
I printed the rules off for this, by the way. They're not in there. So I've got them at my house.
Okay. We must not forget.
Yeah, we must not forget.
So Triumph from Phalanx. I really don't know much about this game, but it's
supposedly based on the Roman card game.
But this is a prototype, so there's all sorts of bits and pieces in here.
It looks so cool.
Is it a war game though? I don't think so.
No, it's kind of a negotiation style political game, but there is some combat.
But the map, I want to show the map because the map is one of my favorite things in this game.
You've got cubes, so it's a Euro style war game.
I don't know if you can see this well, but the mosaic style on that map is one of my favorite things that I've seen in a long time in a war game or just in a game. Like, that is stunning. I'm absolutely in love with that.
Yeah. And that is something that Phalanx has really done really well at, is they have upped their production game on these games. That they're great games, but they make them look so amazing that it's beyond belief how good they look.
It really elevates a game.
Oh, no doubt.
And will also give it a broader appeal because, let's be honest, some of the games we play, maybe not the most eye-catching when you walk past them on a table.
Sometimes,
But I look at something like Brett Wilder, which they did.
Oh my gosh, it was beautiful.
And this could end up with the same thing.
Well, and even the Total Domination that we played, Iron Blood, Snow and Mud, they're just great-looking little games.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
Republic of Rome is the game that it has some similarities to, I believe. I could be wrong on that.
That is a beloved game.
Yeah, we need to read the rules up on that, and I imagine that we'll read the rules of this, but we need to be reading the rules as we go over as well to make sure we're prepared.
Oh yeah,
right. So we can, because I want to get there. We're going to get there about 9 a.m. You know.
To get through
this will be
new games.
This will be 4 o'clock, and then this one will be 7 or 8 o'clock, and then we can come home, right?
Yeah, I'll hang on to. I'll read the rules for this.
Yeah, actually unbox that because I have not unboxed it yet.
And then you do the rules for those, and that way we can.
I have unboxed that, and we'll be ready to go. Final thing, I am going to play this month Halls of Hegra. You've played this, right?
Yes.
This is a World War II worker placement game, solo. It looks awesome.
And this is the production. I've actually looked through
go ahead.
I played a prototype and had to send it on.
Yeah,
so.
But it's a great looking game. Look at those bags.
Yeah.
I haven't unboxed that one, so I'll unbox it, get it ready, and I will play it this month. The other one that I'm going to play, this was a $25 baggy solo game that I got from Conflict Simulations Limited. I think I bought it like a couple months ago. 1854 The Alma, a solitaire Grand Tactics series game. I think this is the Franco-Prussian War, if I'm not mistaken.
In 1854?
Yeah. No?
It was 1870.
I don't remember.
I'm an idiot. Those are British troops. I don't know when that is.
Okay. Well, it's 1854. That's when it is.
But
you don't know what war.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, those look like British or those Russian troops. Anyway, I'm an idiot, but I bought this.
We're all learning together.
Yeah, and I'm very excited about it because it looks cool. It just looks like a cool little war game
as well. Let's have a gander at the map.
Yeah, and it's Crimean War. There we go.
There you go. So yeah, it's
the first Crimean War.
British and the Russians.
Yep. Yeah, simple, but it's a solitaire hex encounter war game.
This is actually really nicely printed as well.
Oh, it's a very nice paper product.
They've really upped their game from.
And these are the tiny battle publishing style of counters.
Yeah.
They're nice. They don't need to be clipped. They're pre-rounded. They're a little thin, but
how much was it?
It was like, I want to say it was $20.
Okay.
and you can still get it on their website. But it's a solitaire game, and it's a hex encounter war game. I'm pretty excited about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's solitaire. This is solitaire.
I'll be honest.
Specifically designed as solitaire.
I think solitaire hex encounter war games
they're great.
are a choice. Because
Yep.
some solitaire war games out there, it's like moving stuff on tracks and boxes, and you're like, oh, cool, I'm just doing stuff.
Yep.
But if you can put that into a hex encounter game and make it trick me into I'm playing a big hex encounter game,
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so that does look neat.
Yep.
I'm excited. I'd love
So-
to hear what you have to say about that.
So I'm going to play both those this month, plus finish Global War and do a video. So I've got a busy month ahead of me.
Also, I remember some of CSL's maps that we've played on, and they are very small.
Very
It was
small.
like
The counters
squinting
are
to
very
see
small.
stuff.
That was big.
That looks really nice,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
very well printed. So that's good to see.
You know, designed by Ray Weiss. Many people, Ray is eclectic, right? He's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
I think he's a good designer. We've enjoyed Rostov 41 and the SES series.
That was excellent.
Really good. He's a good designer.
His Korean game we played was so
He
good.
just needs a break. And I feel like sometimes he gets in his own way. Sorry, Ray, maybe I'm acting like a parent here, but he just does good games. I've enjoyed every one that we've played. We've played, what was that rearguard action game? 19.
Oh, gosh.
World
It was,
War I game.
Oh, what was
Le
it
Coup
called?
de Tourette's. Something like that.
Say that again.
Le Coup de Tourette's.
Yes.
Tourette's.
Yes, it was.
Do you guys like that? You want me to keep saying? You want me to speak
Was
in
it
French?
Vie de Carteret?
That's it.
Something like that.
I thought my version was better, but something like that.
It was something like that.
Yeah. We had a great time with that game. It was very fun. We enjoyed that Korean War
Forgotten
game
War
that
Korea.
you
Wow,
mentioned.
that was so good.
I loved the way the combat system worked in that, where you drew those chips. That was really unique.
That's fun.
And it represented the command confusion.
It's just the unknown because
I
no dice
enjoyed that.
rolling.
Yep. And then Rostov 41. Those are kind of the three big games that I played of Ray's. But I'm going to play this one. And then I have another one, Marathon, that I'm going to have to play solo because you said you don't want to play it. That's okay. That's all right. I'll play it because I enjoy ancient games. So that's all the games we're going to try to play this month. It's a busy month.
But, like 3 of those are in one day.
Yep. Those 3 are in one day.
One of them we've already played.
One of them we've already played. Yep. We're in a good spot.
Yeah.
We just need to get Ardennes 44 ready to go in the next couple of weeks.
Because that's on the docket already.
Yep.
Ardennes 44 is really the big one that we need to say, this weekend we're doing
And
this.
we're probably going to need a day or a day and a half because I'd like to play a lot of it.
I think that'll be a big one.
Yeah. So,
But yeah.
all right. That's what we got, right?
Yes. So briefly, we have a few Kickstarters and crowdfundings to talk about.
We'll go ahead and mention the Compass one because that's...
So right now we have the new Paper Wars edition, which is Paper Wars is a magazine.
And it's 105, I think, through 108. 105, 106, 107, and 108. You can buy all 4 of them. I think you can also just buy one.
Yeah, so the
choose.
Kickstarter is for the newest edition, which is Ebb and Flow is the game that's in it.
By Tai Bomba,
Yes.
which is a Korean War
Yes.
game.
But
I
you
believe.
can get that, and that's like $40 or something. But you can add on the previous 3 or 4 issues
Okay, there you
if
go.
you wish.
There you
but
go.
you don't have to. And so that you have the option to get those. So that is live now, for sure.
Yep.
Then we also have later in the month. I think you'll be able to late pledge 1793.
Patriots and Traitors.
Which is from Sound of Drums. That's on GameFound.
Yep.
Their kind of initial funding period wrapped
It's
up.
over. They funded.
Then they've got a couple weeks
Late
of break,
back.
and then they're going to open late backing in the middle of the month. So if you missed out on that, you can look out for that.
The production on that just looks amazing. We actually have on our way a review copy of Alao 1807.
Oh, do we? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
good.
pretty
I
excited.
really want to play that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So those are 2 of them. Another one is Rommel's War from Worthington Publishing. This one started on January the 1st, so it's only got a couple more days, maybe a week. But it is a 2-player block war game on North Africa. Hey, another North Africa game. Derek Croxton is the designer. I played solo Archie's War. Really enjoyed it. It was fun, unique.
Is it in that style?
It's in that style, but
yep.
I don't believe it has a solo mode like that.
Oh, okay.
It's more of a 2-player.
Okay.
I'm very much looking forward to that. A couple of other Kickstarters that here, let me scroll down, do some music or something, or okay, maybe some dancing.
Oh, it's over
Sorry.
now.
All right.
Quick enough.
Yeah, Votes for Women, 2nd edition.
Yes.
Is on Kickstarter from Fort Circle. We've already talked about that tonight. Great game.
Great game. Great educational resource if you want it in your classroom.
And it's really a game, right?
yeah.
I've played it a lot on Rally the Troops. It has some randomness to it.
Yes.
Lots of dice rolling. A lot of dice rolling.
Yes.
But it's a very cool card-driven game, a la 1960, Making of the President, that style. But it's fun.
The reality of that game is that you are doing all this stuff for 6 rounds to set yourself up to have the best chance at about 35 dice rolls.
Yeah. and sometimes it's a little bit laughable because I'm telling you, I played a game just this last week. I was kicking the piss out of the guy with the opposition. And all of a sudden, the last 7 or 8 rolls, he just, I looked at the results, and he was rolling 8-siders. I was rolling 8-siders because we had both played that.
Yeah,
I can't remember the
final
name.
Voting card.
He would roll 8, and I'd roll a 2. And then the next one, he'd roll a 7, and I'd roll, and it was like, come on. A couple times I had some buttons, and I re-rolled those, and it was the same outcome.
You re-roll a 2 into a 1.
Yeah, so I think I lost by 2 states. You know, and I'm like, I was so close. I was so close, and I have yet to win with the opposition.
Really?
I know I'm stupid at the game. I'm just not good at it.
See, I had the hardest time trying to win with the suffragists.
See, I've won twice as a suffragist.
I could not get either the lobbying done properly, where I couldn't even get the amendment passed. Regularly, that would happen to me.
There was a dude the other day that got it on the 3rd turn.
That's actually bad.
I know.
Like, that's how you lose that game.
He ended up beating me, though.
Oh, really?
I just couldn't get the cards I needed. And every time I did campaign actions, I'd roll 1 or 2.
Bruh.
It's just, that's what I mean. There's some randomness to it. Just be aware of that. It's a great game, though.
It's a fun, light game.
Yeah. The other one that's on Kickstarter, Stalingrad Verdun on the Volga 2 from Against the Odds magazine. This is designed by Mike Ranella. Great looking little game, World War II, Battle of Stalingrad. So those are kind of the 4 or 5 Kickstarters that we're aware of.
I'm sure
this month there's probably more, but you can read my War Game Watch to kind of get a summary of those.
Yes.
There you go.
So I think
back to you, John.
Yes, and I will throw it over to Noble Knight Games, who are the sponsor of this video. Again, we're very grateful for them, and here's a word from them. So once again, very grateful for Noble Knight's support of the Player's Aid, especially these monthly debriefs.
Yep.
I love their company. I love the service that they provide, Wargaming. Like you mentioned earlier, I'm constantly on there.
I'm on there a lot.
Looking for things or seeing oh, is this something that I'm interested in? But I almost use it as like a database. Where I just put stuff in that I'm interested in, and then it's like, oh, it came in stock. And if it comes in stock, I'm like,
do I really want that?
Yeah, do I want it now?
Sure.
And it's like, okay, maybe not now. And the next time it's like, okay, I'm ready for it, let's go.
Sure.
So they just have so much that comes in and out of stock, which is really neat to see. So just be patient if they don't have what you want.
And I would say that you can find any game that you want.
Yes.
That now you're going to have sometimes pay for it, right? If it's an out of print game, you're going to pay $150 for it, probably, right?
Yeah.
If not more.
Yeah, you'll either have to pay for it or you'll have to wait.
Right.
But if you can do either one of those things, you will be able to find pretty much anything
Whatever
you want.
And that was one of my fondest memories from 2023 was our trip, our 2-day trip up to Fitchburg, Wisconsin. meeting with Dan Leader, the vice president, playing games with them, touring that huge warehouse, shopping their amazing retail store. We bought more dice and more games and more miniatures and more it was just a blast.
Yeah.
And then we played games and it was fun and I had a good time. And we gave, what did we, 200 and some odd games, 290,
yeah,
280?
it was about 200 games we took there. So good.
Next year, we'll probably have another 100 that we'll need to take up and because my wife is going to divorce me if I don't get rid of some of those. But, you know, it is what it is. So thanks, Noble Knight. We appreciate it. So on to the main event.
Yes.
What's the main event?
So the topic this week, or this month, is we wanted to kind of revisit a little spotlight on designer.
Yeah.
And you kind of alluded to it earlier. We could talk about Hermann Luttmann.
Hermann Luttmann.
Hermann Luttmann's games.
That guy is a man because he has man in his name twice.
Yeah, he does.
Hermann Luttmann. What a man's man. That's awesome.
We first met him in person in like 2017.
17, I want to say, yep.
He was
at Origins.
He was at Origins. He was working with
Flying Pig Games.
Flying Pig Games. So it was very cool to meet him at that point.
At that point, it was Crowbar.
Yes.
That was his game that they had just done a Kickstarter. We had a prototype. We played there with them. And then we played La Resistance, which we still have, right? Don't we have that somewhere over there?
Yes, it's on the other shelf behind.
We need to finish that review, by the way. There's dozens of reviews we have. So anyway, Hermann Luttmann. Hermann Luttmann is a fantastic designer.
And he has been around the block for a while as well.
Yeah, you make him seem like he's old.
I mean...
Herman, are you old?
Yes.
I think he's pretty young looking.
When you are...
I think he's pretty young looking.
You must know a different Hermann Luttmann to me.
I must be old too. But I will say this about Herman. His games are just, they're very good. They're fun.
Yes.
They're interactive. They're entertaining. And I think he would tell you that he designs games that are fun. He is interested in the fun and the playability of the game.
He wants it to be fun. And I think that if you meet him and you talk to him, if it's not fun, if he's not having a good time, he's not designing it.
Right.
Like he's like, this is...
Yeah, if he doesn't enjoy playing it, he's not gonna push it forward.
And he wants usually some element of like chaos in there.
Yeah.
Whatever that might look like. Sometimes it's, you know, from activation chip pulls or random events or like some added element in there that you can't know everything. Mm-hmm. And so you always get, in every one of his games, there's always some element of the unknown and chance where you're like, huh, I was not expecting that to happen. And so I appreciate that in his games because I also feel that way. When I play his games, you're like, I want to do this thing.
Yeah.
I've set myself up to do it.
Yeah.
And then if you mess it up, like, there's usually like hilarious things that end up happening as a result of you messing up his systems.
I think that that's one of his major strengths is that he understands how to inject chaos into a game.
Without it devolving.
Right, without making it so hard that it becomes
or just like
impossible.
random.
Yeah, but he injects that into those games, which creates interesting and memorable moments. We have those couple of moments over the years that, you know, one of his games, At Any Cost. We'll talk about it here in a moment, but a couple really good memories from that. We have played Dawn of the Zeds. How many times?
I think that was the first game of his that we played.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Well,
where is it?
It's at the very bottom.
It's at the very, of course it is.
Of course.
Of course it is.
So, this was the first game of his that we played. This was not his first design, I don't believe. But
and this is a States of Siege series game.
Yes.
It's a zombie game.
You can play it solitaire,
Yep.
or you can play it co-op with a bunch of players.
We've played it a lot cooperatively.
Yeah, well, I think
Have we ever played it more than just the two of us? Did Tim play with us one time?
I'm pretty sure we played it at least 3-player once.
Yeah.
At least. And it's this, you know, States of Siege, so it's all the zombies are contracting onto, I think it's called Farmingdale.
I think you're right.
And
Farmingdale, yep, right there.
There we go. And you know, your different characters, and it's all super mega tropey.
Yep.
And you're just
It's got every trope in it that you can ever
yeah.
imagine.
with different names for legal reasons.
Sure.
And you go out and it's trying to fight off the zombies and collect resources and not die and survive long enough through the deck of States of Siege cards
Yep.
so that you get to the boss fight at the end or the crazy thing that happens if you can overcome that.
Yep.
And there's like a billion different modules in this and levels
That
and
is
difficulties.
That's the coolest thing about this game. And the last time we played this was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
It was late at night. I think we started at around 11-ish. And we played for about 3 hours till about 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And we interjected a lot of the technology, like the lasers.
Yeah,
and
the special weapons. You had to get all the technologies
Yep.
together and build a super weapon.
It's the back of the box for those that...
And that's like level 4 of the game. And there's like
Right.
5 or 6 different levels that you go to.
Yep.
As difficult or as complex and as silly and stupid as you want to add stuff in.
But it's a great
just
game,
fun.
right? It's interesting and unique. It draws you in. It tells a great narrative. It's a fun game.
You feel like you're going to lose at any moment.
Well, and have we ever won it? No, we won that game. We won that night. We
we
actually
won that
survived.
night. And I think we've won
One other time. And we've probably played it 6 or 8 times,
Yeah.
at least. This is the nicest version. This is their premier line, Victory Point Games.
Yeah, it was their like
The third
gold
edition.
line 3rd edition.
It's beautiful.
And you could. This is after Victory Point Games was sold or acquired. This and Nemo's War are like the 2 games that they still do under that banner mostly. So you can still get this. You should check this out. If you like States of Siege, if you like zombie games, if you want something that's light and fun,
Yeah.
this is great.
Is this your favorite game from Hermann?
No,
It's not.
no,
Really?
no, it's not.
I would say this is my favorite game from him. And it's not a war game,
No,
but I love it.
I
can play this
love
one
it.
at any time. I don't
Yeah.
care how many times I played it. I still want to play it.
You are not wrong about that.
Yeah, it's great.
I absolutely love it.
That's fine. Can you grab the Plum Island Horde? Is it down there?
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry.
You'll have to give me a second
Yep.
to find
Well,
it.
I'll do some dancing. The reason I wanted to bring that one up is we just got our copy from GMT.
I have to stand up.
Oh, I'm sorry. We just got our copy from GMT of the Plum Island Horror, and it's a zombie survival game. So we have not played this one. There's a couple here that we haven't. There's only one.
No, but there's other games of his that we haven't.
Played.
Yeah, quite a few.
But this game looks great. It's cooperative, zombie survival, has some really cool customized dice. You can see them on the back of the box there. It's a beautiful production. You can see the 1950 style art.
Like almost like a comic type.
Well, that's exactly what the layout of the box is.
I
It's a
realize now
comic.
I've said that. You've that is exactly what it is.
But this is a 1-to-4 player game. It does have a solo mode. I'm very interested in playing this. We need to unbox this, and then I want to sit down just with you and I, and we want to play it.
It's one of those light, pulpy, fun games.
It'll be fun, and it'll be interesting. So that's another example of a game that I think Herm has designed because it's a fun experience.
Because that's what he wants to do.
That's what he wants to do, right? And he enjoys those kind of things. Which one do you want to talk about next?
So I think a lot of the other games that we've got here are
This is also one of my
much
favorites
more
from him.
serious.
They're historical war
games.
games.
This is kind of the fun zombie stuff. Let's pull out A Most Fearful Sacrifice.
Okay.
Because this is the polar opposite of what we've talked about so far.
Sorry.
So,
I'm so tired.
A Most Fearful Sacrifice is a huge 3 days of Gettysburg American Civil War game. It's absolutely massive, and it's absolutely stunning from Flying Pig Games.
Yep.
There's a second edition of this in the works. I don't think.
There's already been a second edition that's in the works.
Yes,
but
I think it's
released.
Has it shipped already?
Oh yeah,
okay.
And I think they're almost out of it, and they're going to have to do a 3rd edition. The next game in this series is called the Rock of Chickamauga. So it's the Battle of Chickamauga, which is in Georgia, and it was a very important Civil War battle. But this game uses what's called the Black Swan system. It is based on the blind sword system that you'll probably hear a lot. In fact, At Any Cost is based on that blind sword system. that replicates the American Civil War period. This one happens to be the Franco-Prussian War, same time, right? 1870s, 1860s and 70s. But this game, one of the cool things that Hermann did with this one that I thought was very, very unique, he loves chit pull. This doesn't have chit pull. Well, what does it have?
It has card pull.
Activation cards. So it's the same thing, right? And he even made that comment, it just makes it a little bit easier to play.
Yeah.
Rather than fiddling around with a draw cup.
That you absolutely smash those chits after a few plays.
Sure. He made them into cards. So that's what's unique about this series, this system, and this implementation. We played this game. We loved this game. In fact, this was my game of the year in 2022 because it was just that good.
Yeah, I think this might be one of my favorites of his games.
And this is definitely my favorite war game of his. I just think it's a fantastic game.
I think At Any Cost might be my favorite.
Well, that one's really good. I also really like In Magnet. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But great game.
This is huge. It's massive. It's beautiful. It's got that
Rick Barber
maps in there.
And this was Rick Barber. I think it was his final.
It was not his final one.
He had another one.
Yes, he had one through Revolution.
But he unfortunately
this is one of his magnum opuses.
Has passed. One of the things I did enjoy is they did kind of a in memoriam little flyer.
Is it still in here? We can...
I think it is. Yeah, there it is right there.
So they did a little, almost like an obituary kind of a thing, which is really nice.
But he's done some fantastic maps, and this is one of those that's just really
You need
really
a big table for this game, though.
You do.
Massive.
And you need some, here, I'll put it over here. You need some time as well. This is not a short game. And there's a lot of scenarios. I mean, you don't have to play just the full campaign. You've got some different scenarios. Let's go ahead and talk about this one because I think we both really enjoy that one.
At Any Cost uses the blind sword system. A blind sword system is one of the things that Hermann is most famous for, I think.
Yeah.
He's got this big series of American Civil War games that use these chit pull. They've been around for a while.
He's done many with Revolution games, I think at least 2 or 3 that I can think of.
And they're very well loved because they're eminently playable and they do great solitaire. But this was one of our, I think this was kind of the first game that uses that type of system that we played.
Yep.
And ironically enough, it was Franco-Prussian War, not American Civil War. But like you said, same time frame, effectively.
Same style of fighting.
Yeah.
That Napoleonic
style. The same
style.
tactics, the same thinking.
Yeah.
But with those, modern weapons. So you go up against those very high-powered Gatling-style guns, walking very slowly in nice, brightly colored outfits, and it does not go well. This was a very rich game. It's a one-mapper, but it does. If you play the whole game, it's going to take you all day. And it was just beautiful to play with. The components, the map are really fun to play with. It looks great on a table, but you get that chit pull activations. You have a command and control system where if you get yourself out of control and you have to activate and you're not in your command ranges,
things go crazy.
Yeah, your units act on their own initiative. And that you draw randomly from a very bad cup. And you draw that from a cup, and your guy does whatever the chit says. And you stop controlling the unit at that point.
Like my guy ended up charging basically headlong into a cannon.
Yeah, you have this one cavalry unit. They got some bright ideas and charged headlong into a gun all on their own and died.
Yeah. It was fun.
You can't forget that kind of thing when it happens. And so, there's also lessons about how important your command structure is and your command radius is, but also it's just like a funny, memorable thing that happened.
This is a very crunchy system.
Yes.
It uses D10s for the combat rolls, and I really like how it works. I'm not going to be able to sit here and tell you every detail about how it works, because it's been a while since we've played it. But
yeah, this was a 2017 hack.
Yeah, but it has a CRT. It's amazing.
Like, I love this game.
Yep.
This might be
It's very good.
my favorite of his.
It's one of those games that I would like to bring back out and play again, particularly now that we're more seasoned. I think we tackled this one when we were pretty young into wargaming. And yeah, it was great though. I still have very fond memories of the game and the system, and our meddling with it and futzing around with it and learning.
And yeah, this one, most People's Sacrifice, they've all got like full reviews on the channel. You can go back and watch those and figure out how to play a little bit as well. But yeah, at any cost is a criminally underrated game.
Oh, no doubt.
And I think partly that's the topic, because not as many people are interested in
I wonder,
Franco-Prussian War.
Is that it? Like that? Okay.
I think so. But I like, if you haven't played that...
Franco-Prussian War as well, right?
Yes.
Iron and Blood.
But I just... is it?
Königgrätz. 1866.
Yes, that's on the East Front. That's
Austro-Prussian.
Yes.
So not Franco, Austro-Prussian. Yep. The Battle of Königgrätz.
Yeah. At any cost, go buy it.
Oh yeah, it's very good.
It's so good. So next up, we have a game called Crowbar.
We both played this game. Like I played it separately, and you played it separately.
So this is a solitaire game, and this is so good. This is very, very different from the games we've talked about so far.
Well, it's actually similar to these. Kind of use the same push your luck style
dice chucking.
Yep, and there's whatever you want to call them, columns on the board, and you're moving different formations up. This is in Magnificent style, Pickett's Charge, American Civil War. But yeah, Crowbar, go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Crowbar's from Flying Pig Games. It's this big chunky box, and they have these really nice dice, custom dice they've got in there.
And the game is just so well done. I played this a lot. I know you had done a review already on it, and I just...
But you just...
I loved it.
So...
Where's the...
Their production is off the chain, for sure.
So that dice, they have different symbols, and the push your luck concept here is each time you choose to roll your dice, you don't get penalized, but you can ultimately have negative effects.
Yes.
So the more you push, and there's several of them, isn't it? Yeah, there's
like
a blue one.
The further you advance, the further you're kind of away from your... supply sources, your commanders. The further you get away, you might have to like retreat a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Or because if you go too far, and you're gonna give a lot of it's this really neat. It sits in this really interesting space where like mechanically it's kind of light.
Yeah.
Like from the core of like, oh, these guys are gonna go. We're gonna roll some dice.
It's not overly
forwards.
complex.
No, but like it lasts a really good amount of time, and you still feel like there's a bit of meat in there and like some tension and pressure as you're really trying to get to where you're going, because the time constraints in this one are very tight.
Yes, you have a certain amount of time to complete the mission, capture the guns, and this is at Point du Hoc. You're trying to capture the guns that are shelling the beaches, and the Rangers have to get up the cliffs and
every time you ping one of the guns and it's the dummy, you're like,
yeah. Just a very good system.
Fun. It's fun.
It's fun. And in Magnificent Style was the first game in this implementation. Once again, kind of a square grid, and you're marching your troops up these different columns. This one is really good. I don't think you've played this.
I have not.
Have you? I have a full first impression review on the blog. This is a brutal game.
Because this is like a reissue of this.
Yes, this is an upgraded from Worthington. So the original one was like from Victory Point Games in those little pizza boxes.
Okay.
This is the second edition, deluxe edition from Worthington Games. So I played this a couple of years ago, but rather than chits, because the original game had chit pull, you have card pull. And they are multi-use cards, so you have events, and then you use them for other elements. They kind of give you different little benefits, but your Pickett's division marching towards the center of the Union line at Gettysburg, the dreaded angle, and it's a bloodbath. And if you get your guys up there, you have got to hurry and try to bayonet charge these Union positions before they obliterate you. And it's a press your luck game. Am I going to roll again, risking something or risking losing something? And you have to kind of get going. So sometimes you gotta choose. I'm going to push it. And both these games have that style.
And they got great counters in both of these as well. Like the actual physical pieces.
Our production quality is. Now, the third game that is based on this series, I own it. I forgot to bring it. Is called Volters Lead the Way.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a sci-fi based game using this same system. I have not played it. It was from last year. We bought it at WBC. I think we ended up buying like 12 games and I just never got around.
It's printed by Blue Panther, right?
Yeah, it's White Dog Games,
okay,
but
White Dog
Blue
Games
Panther does their printing. Now, I've heard rumor that they are going to merge that over from White Dog to Blue Panther's line of games and do a second edition.
I would not be surprised by that, yes.
So these are great games. They're solo games. Hermann has done a really good job. These are very entertaining games. I really enjoyed In Magnificent Style. I liked this better than this, but I think I have more of a connection to this. I enjoy ACW. This is really good though too. Crowbar and this version has the Vorwärts.
The Vorwärts,
yeah, sorry.
Expansion.
I always love to try to butcher things. But it has some extra content, so it's like even more.
Yes.
And I played with that once, and I'm like, holy crap, that interjects
makes
like
it way more difficult.
A whole lot of extra difficulty. But these are both great games. I really like them both. Now, I already talked about this on the video. Vive l'Empereur. This is a solitaire hex and counter war game. Hermann's a genius. This system just works. They have a little bot system and it just goes on priorities. And so this is...
Yeah, I'd like to... Is it complicated?
There's nothing in there. It's set up in my house. It's simple, but the only complaint I have about it, when I play these solo games, I don't want to play them two-handed, right?
Yes.
I don't enjoy that as much. Now, I'll do it when I have to. The bots are so complex, but there comes a point where you have to make a choice. You have to say, okay, the game's coming near an end. This guy, rather than doing that stupid thing, is going to do this. And that's what, so you make those decisions from time to time.
And so does the game literally say, kind of hand wave that, whether like...
It does.
If the
follow this as much as possible, but if it doesn't make sense, do what makes sense.
Okay.
Because there comes a point near the end of the game when you know the game's coming to an end. These units aren't going to rally. They're gonna try one more attack because they want to get you out of that area.
Yeah.
Excellent game. I've enjoyed the heck out of this one. This is a second edition. This was originally with White Dog Games. I think this is one of Herm's finest efforts. I really enjoy it. I can't wait to play it more. I need to play it a couple more times.
It sounds very cool.
I would let you borrow it because it's so very good.
Well, yeah, once you're done with it, I'd love to.
So very good. Now, this is a game that I haven't played, but this is also a second edition from Blue Panther by Iron and Blood, the Battle of Königgrätz, and we decided that was the Austro-Prussian War in 1866. The Battle of Sadowa is another name for this battle. This is a two-player game. It's a hex and counter war game, has activation cards. I think the components are pretty good. I think the map looks pretty good.
Yeah, so I have... Do I still have it? I have a first edition copy of this game.
From White Dog Games that we never got around to playing.
There was a significant issue with the color of the units.
Yeah.
You could not tell the different units apart because it was like one was a slightly, it was like a very light gray, and the other one was a very light
lighter gray. Okay.
Like,
so these are white.
It was so
and
hard.
These are blue.
Yeah, and these are light blue. Like these were this.
Yeah.
I can see. I know I wear glasses, but I've got young eyes. Good. It was so challenging. So I'm glad they responded to that when they did the new edition of it as well.
We haven't played this one. I only brought it along because I think it demonstrates Hermann's kind of versatility, if you know what I'm talking about.
He's still going strong. He's putting out games.
And this was a CSR award winner, right? So
I don't think this one was.
You don't think?
It was by CSR.
Oh, okay, designer. There you go.
Because he's won for a lot of other games.
All right, well, we need to play that, but we'll get around to it someday.
Yeah.
We can't play every game. The final game that I want to talk about, probably one of my favorite games of his, and it's a silly, pulpy, sci-fi, totally not realistic, but it's cool. This game is called Attack of the 50-Foot Colossi. They are big rock creatures on a planet that you encounter, and you are, they have the name of it, sorry. Blah, 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 blah. It's on Graviton Prime, but your guys, I'm trying to remember the name. Marine Raider Battalion, 124th Galactic Marine Raider Battalion. And he's used that in a couple of these sci-fi games. But it is such a cool solitaire game. The bots work with a deck of cards. And you pull them and you follow their priorities and they activate the different units. So there's multiple different colors like formations. And it's just a blast. You have like a drilling machine that can tear the crap out of those rock creatures. But it's going to break down from time to time. You also have grab boots and jump boots. And this game is fun. It has two different scenarios in it. I've played both of them multiple times. I've written several pieces on this and did a video review. I love it. This is from Tiny Battle Publishing. It's still available. Had a great time with it. So you can see Hermann Luttmann has a wide range of tastes, styles, and topics, right? From the ridiculous made up to historical.
Quite serious mega monster game Gettysburg.
He has a lot of talent. He's a very versatile designer. Now, we still don't have a copy of his newest game. You know what that game is called? The Red Blight.
Oh, no. I
yeah, so it's a fantasy style war game from Blue Panther.
Oh, yes.
It looks amazing. We just need to get a copy. Just haven't got around to it, but it is available. Once again, fantasy style war game that it's got cooperative play, but it's that semi-co-op thing where you all fail together, but then somebody's going to win based on victories and treasures collected, and it's a really cool looking game. Yeah. His friend Fred Manzo is a developer that develops almost all of his games. You'll find his name on almost every one of these titles. They're kind of a dream team, meaning they work really well together and create really interesting games. I think Ryan Heilman is pushing Hermann in different directions, and I think they're going to have even more games coming out. In fact, I know of at least several, but I'm going to hold off on them. Now, the Plum Island Horror that we showed earlier has an expansion already coming out. It has been that popular of a game.
Really?
And they just announced, they haven't announced it yet, sorry, but it's gonna have an expansion.
I just
we're gonna play this one soon.
Yeah, I really hope it's as
just
good.
Because it's a fun game.
It just looks cool,
and you can see it's.
It just looks pulpy as hell and fun and
playing time 45 minutes per player. So the two of us, we're gonna do a game in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a blast, and we're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna share it with people, and then people will understand why that game has been selling.
And then buy the
really well
unannounced expansions
down the road from P500. Hermann Luttmann, I look forward to every game that he has that comes out. I look forward to that Rock of Chickamauga, which is the follow-up to this game.
I heard him talking about the development of that.
Okay.
Where it's just like in the works still. I'm like, oh, hurry up.
They've already got the art done, though.
I know.
The cover looks amazing. Now,
I think they've got a lot, because he does so much research with all the different units and the details and stuff. I know they're still it's still being worked on.
Got it. It'll probably go to Kickstarter sometime in the next couple of months, and we probably won't see it until 2025.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be 24.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Got it. But yeah, Hermann, thank you for your games. Thank you for your design philosophy, your approach. I think it's all worked very well, and you can see we've enjoyed many of his games. And there's many others that we haven't played.
There's a ton. Because he's a very prolific game designer.
Yeah.
And has been for a long time. Like he's got so many in the back catalog that's like it'd be impossible for us to catch up almost.
I felt honored to discuss this tonight, because we've done some great designers, right? Hermann and Volko, and who else did we do?
I think that might be it.
Okay.
I think this is number 3.
So Hermann's our third one. So you're in good company there, Hermann. So
with Hermann, Mark Hermann.
yeah, right. Mark Hermann, the Hermann, right?
And then Volko Hermann. But yeah, I love Hermann Luttmann's games. Again, the variety from like the ridiculous to the sublime.
Yeah.
But you will have fun playing all of them regardless of where they sit on that
They're
scale.
just good games, and you know they're going to be good games.
Agreed. So if you've not played any of his games, please check them out.
I don't know that I played any of his games that I didn't enjoy.
Oh, no.
So,
and if there are games on this, you know, from Hermann that we haven't talked about because we haven't played, put them in the comments. What other Hermann Luttmann games should we look at?
And my guess is many people are going to say his Revolution games, his Blind Swords,
the Blind Swords
series
ones, which
games.
It's probably like shameful. Surely we haven't played any.
Well, but it's shameful that we haven't played Ardennes 44 either, right?
And we're rectifying
that. But maybe next year we rectify that and
pick up one of those.
We pick up 1 or 2 of those and play them.
So, okay, if there is a Blind Swords game that we should play, which one should it be?
Yeah. So tell us your favorite Hermann Luttmann games. Let us know your experiences. We always enjoy hearing about that. So let us know.
Yes, thanks for sticking with us. Appreciate you tuning in. I've been Alexander for thePlayersaid.com.
And I'm Grant.